A brand new homeless shelter coming very soon to the city of Denton.
This is day 8 of the Chauvin murder trial in Minneapolis. The latest update here on ntTV.
An excuse to get outdoors, come enjoy good food, live music, and entertainment here in South Dallas. I'll have more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Andrew Fancher.
And I'm Michaela Goose. As severe weather season continues, the need to stay weather aware is now more important than ever.
Although our skies have been fairly clear for the past couple of weeks, we're looking at the potential for our good weather streak to come to an end. Right now, we're looking at sunny skies and temperatures in the 70s. However, within the 48 hours, we're looking at the possibility of severe weather heading in. Across the country, last April, we saw the second worst severe weather season in the U.S., with 251 tornadoes touching down and killing 40 people. As the tornado capital of the states, Texas sees about 132 tornadoes a year, with April being the most dangerous month of the season. Just 3 weeks ago, a small twister touched down in Amarillo.
Because of this, the need to prepare for severe weather in order to stay safe is more important than ever.
That's right, Michaela. And our very own Nathan Mayer is out at Chilton Hall right now with some tips for this week. Nathan?
That's right, you guys. In order to be as prepared as possible for the severe weather coming in this weekend, make sure that you stay weather aware and prepare a plan of emergencies. Try to create an emergency kit ahead of time in the event of a prolonged shelter with blankets, pillows, water, and non-perishable foods. If you find yourself on the road during a tornado, stop driving and try to take shelter under a bridge. When inside, take cover in an interior room on the lowest possible level. And if you happen to be on campus during a storm, UNT has 75 places you can take cover. However, not all are well marked. ntTV talked with emergency management this afternoon, and they're working on a plan to make sure all locations are clearly marked for easy access. And if you happen to be in a building that doesn't have a clearly marked location, be sure to ask an employee where the nearest shelter is so that you guys can stay safe. With that, Michaela and Andrew, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Nathan. I hope everyone out there stays safe.
Me too. Now let's go to weather anchor Donald Britton to see what we can expect before that severe weather hits us. Donald?
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm going to touch on that severe weather later on in the show, but right now the sun is still shining as it has been for the majority of the day today, and we're experiencing a temperature of 73 degrees with wind speeds of 12 miles per hour, making it feel more like 71. Now, overnight temperatures will drop to 46 degrees with wind speeds of 5 miles per hour, so it's going to be a pretty cool night. So if you are out and about, you might want to grab a light jacket. Tomorrow's morning commute puts us at a temperature of 82 degrees with wind speeds of 6 miles per hour, making it feel more like 87. Now, I'll have more of that rain in the forecast later on in the show. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Donald. This kind of program is a great way to bring people back together as we fight COVID-19. Here in Denton County, health officials reported 185 new COVID cases, with 7 deaths on Monday. Meanwhile, vaccine providers are offering all 3 of the COVID vaccines, and UNT is also playing its part in the fight. The university received 800 doses of the Johnson & Johnson 1-dose vaccine yesterday. To date, UNT has administered nearly 2,000 shots using all 3 of the vaccines.
Downtown Dallas is usually known for its extravagant restaurants, but one organization is hoping to use food to help a local community. ntTV's Hannah Gonzalez is live to tell us more about Dallas's newest charm.
Well, Michaela, if you're looking for a great weekend activity and good eats, this is a spot for you. The Forest District of South Dallas is bringing a vibrant space for locals all across the DFW area. The MLK Food Park brings a new aspect to this forgotten neighborhood of Dallas. The food park's opening debut starts tomorrow, Friday, April 9th through May 2nd. However, the park will only be open to visitors through the weekend. The park will be open from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Fridays and 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. Each week brings a new rotation of food vendors, live music, and entertainment for everyone to enjoy. I'm here with Dee Powell, the vending manager for Black Spaces. Dee, tell me, how will this new program help the local community?
It'll allow people to have a safe communal space to gather. And it'll also bring out mobile food trucks in a different way and allow people access to that they haven't typically had before.
And what does the future have in store for the MLK Food Park?
We're surveying the community before, during, and after, as well as the vendors and anybody that attends. Doing our own report to see what works and what didn't, and taking it to City Hall to hopefully make this a permanent thing.
Well, thank you, Dee. I definitely will be here this weekend to enjoy all the good food. Michaela and Andrew, sending it back to you in Denton.
Thanks, Hannah. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the need for face masks has skyrocketed. However, these masks can be costly and hard to access, especially in at-risk communities. But popular auto manufacturer Ford says it has delivered 120 million masks to nonprofits, schools, and local officials over the past 8 months. They are also helping to produce a public service announcement with leaders from organizations that target minority communities. This to fight against misinformation surrounding the vaccine. Their goal is to be a company that helps those in need during this time.
And another kind of protection against COVID is on the market, but it will set you back almost $300. Rapper will.i.am is teaming up with the high-tech company Honeywell to launch a new mask called Zupper Mask. It's not your average face mask. Instead, it has 3-speed air fans, air filters, Bluetooth connectivity, and even LED glow lights. It also has a noise-canceling audio, microphone capabilities, an earbud docking system, and a 7-hour battery life, and it goes on sale tomorrow.
When we come back, we'll have the latest update on the Chauvin trial.
And a new email for UNT students putting them in danger of being scammed. More on that after the break.
Just today, I'll now make another push to be the first man in space with frosted tips and a puka shell necklace. I'm Lance Bass, and I will not be trending today because there is a much bigger story that needs to be heard.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys. And
the former Dallas police officer, Brian Reiser, who was arrested on charges related to capital murder, was released today. Prosecutors agreed that they lacked the evidence needed to move forward with the case. All charges of capital murder were dropped. Reiser has served 13 years on the Dallas police force, but was fired after he was charged in this investigation. 1 week has passed in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Now, witnesses from both prosecution and defense have testified on what use of force looks like. CNN's Camilla Bernal has the story.
My opinion was that no force should have been used once he was in that position.
That answer given by an LAPD use of force expert when asked by the prosecution how much force Derek Chauvin should have used on George Floyd once he was handcuffed and on the ground. And when asked if Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds would be considered deadly force, Sergeant Jody Steiger answering in the affirmative.
The pressure that was being caused by the body weight could cause positional asphyxia, which could cause death.
The defense trying to argue that use of force never looks the same and that many factors have to be considered in each situation. In this case, saying the crowd around the officers on May 25th of 2020 was distracting and posed a potential threat. But Steiger, a paid expert for the prosecution, disagreed.
They were merely filming, and most of it was their concern for Mr. Floyd.
Steiger also testifying that officers can only apply force based on the subject's actions, not those around them. In Minneapolis, I'm Camila Bernal.
Earlier today, UNT announced an IRS impersonation scam that is targeting large institutions and messaging students with university email addresses. The email displays the IRS logo and uses various subject lines such as tax refund payment or recalculation of your tax refund payment, and asks people to click a link to submit their information. UNT advises students to read through the IRS's tax tips to learn more about the scam, as well as information about their Identity Protection PIN program.
So, what are your plans for the weekend, Michaela?
Well, I'm hoping to go down to Dallas to visit some friends, actually.
Well, that sounds like a good time. Let's hope that there is some clear skies down south. Yeah. What does Donald have for us?
Thanks, guys. Well, I hope you didn't make full-on weekend plans because you're going to be disappointed. But right now, let's take a look at our temperatures across North Texas. 77 in Graham, 73 in Decatur, and 73 in Denton. So roughly the same temperatures across North Texas. Let's take a look at what our temperatures are looking like across the state. A little bit warm in El Paso, 70 in Amarillo, and 78 in Abilene. Now let's check out what our 7-day forecast has in store. Today our highs made it to the mid-70s, and for the next 2 days we'll be in the 80s. Friday is a great day to be weather aware, as some storms could be on the strong to severe side. Saturday will be cooler, followed by a warm-up on Sunday and possible rain showers next week. And finally, we want to clarify a tip to stay safe in severe weather. If you find yourself in a tornado situation, don't take shelter under an overpass. Instead, pull off the road and seek shelter in a building. That's all I have for you guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Donald. Denton County is finding new ways to end homelessness. Our reporter, Jocelyn Lassiter, is live at the building that will soon become a refuge for Denton's homeless.
Thanks, Andrew. I'm here at what will soon be the new location for the new Denton's homeless shelter. Now, this building was a nursing home. However, it is now set to be the new headquarters for the organization, the Junction of Denton County. Now, the purchase of the site was made back in 2020 with the hopes of expanding the organization's operation and services. The new building is set to have 4 wings, a kitchen, program services, and 2 separate shelters. One will house 120 beds, while the other shelter will hold an additional 32. The building at the time of the purchase was completely gutted and then refurbished for this purpose. Now, the shelter will provide extended resources for those who are experiencing homelessness, and it will also help while they look for permanent solutions. That's all I have here. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jocelyn. After the break, we'll introduce you to a celebrity chef that's expanding her cake empire.
And now we are able to buy a Tesla with something other than money. Stay with us after the break.
Many medicines used to treat colds and flu contain acetaminophen, a pain reliever and fever reducer found in hundreds of over-the-counter and prescription medicines. But taking too much or more than one medication containing acetaminophen per day can damage your liver. So always read the label and don't take acetaminophen if you drink 3 or more alcoholic drinks
The popular app known as TikTok is now adding automatic captions. Creators now have the ability to add captions to their videos after they are uploaded. It is up to the viewers if they want to see the captions or not. The app announced that the captions are only in English and Japanese right now, but more languages are on the way. Now, moving on to more of a tech aspect. Andrew, have you ever heard of cryptocurrency?
I have, Michaela, and while I personally am a fan, I understand that a lot of people still have questions about it. That's why ntTV's Jose Alonso tackled Bitcoin in this week's Eagle Tech segment.
That's right, Andrew. When I say words like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Zcash, you may think I'm speaking gibberish, but I'm actually talking about the future of intangible money. We are so acquainted with using cash and credit cards to purchase goods, but with the rise of cryptocurrency, we could be seeing changes coming our way sooner than expected. There is no regular bank for it. It's not paper, and there were no governments expanding on it. Meanwhile, it is no different from the currency we use now. Just like cash and credit, cryptocurrencies are also abstract forms of payment that rely on trust and faith. So what does the future have in store for Bitcoin?
I'm very confident, Jose, that we really don't know. We really don't know. We're at the opening. We're in the opening steps of something that I suspect, especially blockchain, is going to be much, much bigger than it is now. So we have to be very cautious in this space as to making predictions.
In order for cryptocurrency to be efficient, it must be accepted, have a price, and have real store value. When utilizing payment like Bitcoin, it's typically done through brokerage accounts. You can even mine Bitcoin from the blockchain to create it. Now, do you think that this will make an impact on the economy, the stock market, financial situations anytime soon?
In a way, what's happened is not unexpected. And the reason I say that is when it was decoupled from gold and it was basically a fiat currency that was worth kind of what people felt it was worth from day to day. At that point, I think you started opening up the door for cryptocurrency.
Other tech giants like Apple, Samsung, or common retail stores could also follow suit in accepting this new form of payment. What is your professional opinion on Tesla announcing that they will start taking Bitcoin as a form of payment? I mean, it could change economics, it could change finances, the stock markets.
In order for a currency to function as a currency, it has to be accepted. So the more vendors and the more outlets and the more sellers that accept it, the more mainstream it becomes. And so, it's one thing for, some off the wall, small company that nobody's ever heard of to say, okay, we'll take Bitcoin. But you start getting mainstream companies like Tesla, for them to say, we'll take Bitcoin, moves Bitcoin more into the realm of sort of legitimate currency.
Now, the government decides and has control of what currency is. With China becoming the first nation to create its own digital currency, who knows how long it'll take other countries to follow suit. I hope you know more about Bitcoin now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jose. A celebrity baker is expanding her business. The move comes after immeasurable success during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a regular morning at the London Baker, a designer cake shop in North Texas. The business is owned and operated by Elizabeth Rowe, an award-winning baker living the American dream.
I had the opportunity to go onto Cake Wars in Food Network, did really well there, and it led to the London Baker becoming a full-time business for myself.
Now, the bakehouse is known for its handmade, all-natural cakes, such as this, soon-to-be replica of the Millennium Falcon.
So I am actually trained, in baking and pastry.
Jessica Hamilton is one of 3 designers working on the spacecraft.
It's more difficult in the conception factor of figuring out how to do it than actually doing it. Once you figure it out, it comes together decently quickly.
In 3 hours, this replica will serve as a wedding cake.
I do love a good challenge, hence Holiday Wars, Halloween Wars, Cake Wars, and the Food Network Challenge. I do love to compete, and I am pretty competitive.
Commissions like these are at an all-time high, strikingly different from when the pandemic started.
You know, we had to come up with some pretty inventive ways to keep everyone employed here so they could still pay their bills.
Now, as the state of Texas opens back up, the bakery is seeing a triple in its number of cake requests, such as the Millennium Falcon, nearly 15 hours in the making.
Sometimes the cake is easy to create, but the delivery can be stressful, or the setup at the delivery can be stressful.
Luckily, the Falcon survived its voyage and stole the show.
I would say I'm a cake artist, cake sculptor, cake architect. I can't really say that I just wear one name, to be honest.
Rowe is opening a second bakery this coming summer. For ntTV News, I'm Andrew Fancher. The London baker makes anywhere between 20 to 40 of these cakes a week, the new June and July of 2020.
Well, Andrew, I can't say I've ever wanted to eat the Millennium Falcon before, but I definitely do now.
And I can say the same. It was very tempting not to dive right into that wedding cake.
Well, did you follow any of UNT's basketball season?
I did, Michaela, and I heard that we have a lot to celebrate about. And I understand that ntTV's Armando Berry has more.
That's right, Andy and Michaela. Everybody loves a celebration, and I'll tell you what we have the party about right after the break. With the grueling grind that comes with winning the CUSA tournament and earning the program's first win in March Madness in the rear view, the time to celebrate the Mean Green men's basketball team season is finally here. UNT is hosting a celebration to honor the team's historic run tomorrow night at the Super Pit at 6 p.m. The event will be free of cost and open to the public. Coach McCaslin, along with UNT Athletic Director Ren Baker and a few more players, are expected to speak to fans and offer them the chance to relive those Mean Green moments from a postseason that hasn't been matched since 2010. While there will be a couple of goodbyes in order for seniors graduating, Mean Green men's basketball fans can now say see you later to seniors J.J. Murray and Thomas Bell, who recently announced their decision to play next season. Basketball success may have seemed like a Mean Green thing, but this year, the whole state of Texas has performed in an unprecedented fashion this whole season, and with success comes promotion, and it's already begun. Former Texas Tech head coach Chris Beard will now be on the sidelines wearing burnt orange for the Longhorns after 5 seasons in Lubbock that include an Elite Eight in his second season and a national title game in his third. Then the Red Raiders announced their guy for the head spot in Mark Adams on Monday, who served as an assistant on Beard's staff the past 5 seasons. Even the DFW, there's changes. No, not Graham McCaslin, but at UTA, where after serving as an assistant for 12 seasons, Greg Young will get his first chance to be a head coach at the D1 level for the Mavericks men's basketball team. After a season that's put Texas on the map for college basketball, we'll just have to see if next year can match. With one season gone, another one comes, and the Texas Rangers have already embraced that early on in their season. The Rangers have moved on from second baseman Rougned Odor after sending him to the New York Yankees in a trade for cash considerations and minor league outfielders Antonio Cabello and Josh Stowers. Odor did make the Rangers' opening day roster and was designated for assignment on April 1st. The Rangers are still expected to be paying nearly all of the rest of his $27 million deal that spans over the next 2 years, while Odor won't cost the Yankees anything in the luxury tax. With the Rangers sitting at 3-3, we'll just have to see how they progress with the long season ahead. That's a look at sports for tonight. Michaela, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Armando. Well, grab your popcorn. Lab Mix is taking a break from her service dog duties to compete in a national contest of heroic dogs. Angela Bahone introduces us to Cameo, a service dog who saved her owner's life.
Meet Cameo. She's a lab mix with a seemingly normal life. Except her owner is now a pet photographer, so she's kind of a big deal on Instagram.
Cameo suffers from the photographer's child syndrome, and I take pictures of her all the time.
But this pup isn't just a model. She's also a service dog for her owner, Brittany Sorrentini.
I took a chance with her and put all my faith in her, and it worked out.
Good girl. Sorrentini says she suffers from anxiety and narcolepsy.
She's able to recognize those symptoms, and she alerts to those before it happens. That way I have a safe place to fall or sit down.
Cameo also provides emotional support and a barrier when alongside her owner in a crowd.
She will sit behind me like she is now, and she'll make it so men, or women even now, don't approach too close to me. That way I feel safe and my anxiety doesn't flare up in public.
In addition to the continuous support this dog gives her owner, she's also credited with alerting the family during a house fire about a year and a half ago.
We opened up our bedroom door and the whole house was filled with smoke. If it weren't for her, we probably wouldn't have made it out in time.
For all these reasons and more, Cameo's owner nominated her in the American Humane Hero Dog Awards. And she really is up against some top dogs in categories including service dogs, military dogs, and law enforcement dogs. Whether she wins the most votes or gets featured on the Hallmark Channel with the other winners, Cameo is still a hero to at least one person. In Norfolk, Angela Bohan, News 3.
Well, Andrew, you know, every single time we do a story on puppies, it makes me want to drive down to the pound right now and adopt every single pup I can find.
All right, well, while I may not take it to that extreme, I would meet you halfway with maybe 1 or 2 puppies. Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.